Well, welcome into yet another episode of That Being Roasting Laboratories. So here we are in the lab, making another creation. Microphone. But welcome in on this, what has been, at least in Kansas City, a beautiful day and evening. Much difference that a week could make. A week ago, we were sitting in negative 15 degrees weather, and now here we are with it up to 60 today. So spring is definitely moving crazy, but we should be here soon. So Belvarte, dang crazy good lighting. Anyway, so today we're going to be doing a couple of different things here. First, we're going to brew up, and look, there we have one of the lost soldiers as you were. Hopefully everything is going good for you, Vegetable Beard. It's good to see you back. Yes, in case you're wondering, Belvarte did give me this hat. Yeah. Oh, and Lisa's back too. So, yeah, got a couple of fresh faces here back in the chat, so that should make for a little bit more pleasurable evening. I'm glad that Blake Vegetable Beard filled me in that everything was pretty much, you guys kind of dodged the worst of it, so it is good to have some of you back. I did talk to AWeb, and she thinks that she will be able to make her triumphant return on the Wednesday show. So, as is normal on the Monday show, I'm going to be kind of introducing you guys to a new coffee that I roasted on Saturday. Giving it a quick taste test because it is a part of the kind of the half and half blends that I've been doing. So this particular one that we'll be doing is pronounced sweetness brewed, discernible flavors of blackberry, dried blueberry, dusted with dark chocolate powder and subtle floral aromas. We did this one a little bit darker than I probably intended it to do, but it turned out pretty good. Full disclosure, I did try this at work, so Belvarte had a glass of this, so if she would like to kind of point out what she liked about the coffee while I'm drinking it, feel free, but I am going to be quick doing a taste test. And yes, Belvarte did give me this hat because she said I needed to wear a dad hat. So, here it is, the hat live. So like I said, Lisa and Vegetable Beard, it's good to see you guys back in the chat. We did Soldier On, did some shows. We did one about Cowboy Coffee, where we just brewed coffee on Monday because we were on an electrical advisory. Turned out pretty good, so if you didn't get a chance to watch that one, check back in the old archives, check it out. Yeah, it was good. I'm more of a bitter person with coffee. This one was perfectly in between, really impressive. Happy to be defrosted. I think probably about 150 million Americans say the same thing, but I think Texas gets to be the happiest of all. So hopefully you guys can avoid any of that nonsensical Midwest Canadian weather again, at least for 10 years. Yeah, so I did take this a little darker than I wanted to, but my mistakes ended up being Belvarte's benefit. She likes the more balanced, leaning toward the cocoa side, which is what this coffee ended up. When I roast this one again, I'm going to definitely probably keep it a little bit lighter, but I'll be honest with you, it wasn't terrible. Just like my light roasts. Like my light roasts. So, Ethiopian, natural process. We did this on Saturday. We did a very rare roasting show on Saturday, but already getting good reviews. Go ahead and drop the old plunger here. Our handy dandy $3 IKEA cups. Okay. Perfect. Warm up old Judy here. Get her started. Ready for some action? Take a little shot here. Tasty little cup. So definitely taste the fruit. The raspberry is the first one to go. Hopefully you guys got some as well, or at least something, to drink now that we are entering back to normal, well, normal-ish life. But the cocoa taste is definitely on top of this, which I can see why Belvarte likes it. I mean, if you like the cocoa, this has like a cocoa-y berry, almost like a chocolate raspberry, chocolate blueberry taste. But I think when I roast this again, I think I'm going to keep it light because although the chocolate taste is good, it's kind of invasive. And to be honest, I'm looking for more of those fruit flavors in this coffee because that's what these dry processes, their big intentions are. And when this one got its cupping score, which I looked this one up, it got a very high cupping score. And that's something we haven't talked to. That's kind of in the weeds, inside baseball of roasting. But when we talk about specialty coffee roasting, what we're saying is that coffee has scored an 80 or above in what we call cupping scores, which is when they have set parameters. They try to isolate as many variables as possible. They taste the coffee and they test it on aroma, acidity versus bitterness, and overall taste. And then they score it. That score gives it a score. If it scores above 80, it becomes specialty coffee. And that is when farmers are able to really capitalize on that larger, more lucrative market. So this one scored like a 92, which is very, very high scoring coffee. What makes a coffee bean decaf? The wash process, how they clean the fruit off. So they wash it and double wash it again, which actually washes off a lot of the caffeine, and then they will usually roast it medium to dark, because all of that washing really kind of scrubs all the acid taste. So then they'll roast it, but it's the wash process. Also, certain varieties make easier decaf beans. Good question. Okay, so old Judy's warmed up, ready for some beans. Let's give her what she wants. Today, we are going to do a brand new country of origin on the Fat Beans Roasting Show here. So this is a Burundi. Now Burundi is a country in Africa. It is found close to Kenya and Ethiopia, so East Africa, so very close to all the other coffee growers in that region. They tend to have a little bit more balanced cup than the Kenyans and Ethiopians. This one has honey, raw sugar, hints of apple, clove, which is a scent, something you smell, allspice, lemongrass, orange spice, black tea. If you do go medium or past medium, you'll get some berry notes. I did one other roast of this. I did a deep medium on this, and that gave me kind of a, like it said, like a little bit of a berry, but I want to lighten this one up a little. So I'm going to still roast this medium, but I'm going to take it a little bit lighter. So that is the Burundi wash process. So new country of origin here in the Fat Beans Lab. That clove. So yes, Belvarte was on a full taste tour today because it was Monday, and I warned her about the clove because sometimes clove is a spice taste that it's not always the most accepted taste. But with this coffee, it just really ties the whole cup together. It's like that rug in The Big Lebowski. Just ties the whole room together. So, load up our Burundi in the basket. Load up old Jutes here. Fire up. Okay. So, Burundi, go ahead and jump to the notes here. So last time it looked like I let it develop for 1:45. So once I heard the first crack, I let it go to 1:45. When I say lighten it up, I'm talking about just cutting 15 seconds. So instead of 1:45, we're going to go ahead and do 1:30. That should just bring back some of the acid taste. I was really not getting the lemongrass. I think with this coffee, that's one of the flavors I want to pull back into this. So I'm going to see if lightening this up a little bit will kind of reinstall that lemongrass. But if it doesn't, as Belvarte has already said, it tastes pretty good on its own. So I'm going to tweak it a little bit. This is the second time. But we will wait and see. Got the Bean Cam shout out, so. Uh-oh. There it is. Get your face off the screen, give us what we want. We want the beans. Alright. There we go. And just to be sure I have a miserable night's sleep. And fine cup of coffee. If I do say so myself. And I did. Alright. Back our heats. So hopefully everyone's had a good weekend. Been able to recover, recoup, reinstall. Good to see you guys back in here. The roast, I think right now we're going to stand on a pretty standard roast schedule. We'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Don't really know what the schedule is for Saturday, but we are going to try to come up with something. The ice kind of threw myself and everyone else off their game. I just say ice and snow, cold. But it kind of threw me and everyone else off their game. So we're going to just try to hit the restart button and see if we can't get some of the things we were working on, especially for our Saturday shows, kind of back in line. So if you have any ideas or something you want to see on Saturday, let me know. But we're going to try to do something. Just haven't decided yet. Kind of the beauty of the Monday show, we start putting this all back together. So remember, iced coffee was a crowd shout out. So it was a resounding success with me drinking things I don't like and spilling. So if you got an idea for a show, go ahead and drop that in the chat. But we'll continue on. Machine's heating up nicely. You can see the Burundi is just starting to take on a little bit of color. Still green, still in its very green phase. From the previous roast, seems to be lining up as far as the time signatures go. I've only done this country of origin one other time. I did I ran down here when I first bought it, just so I could start tasting it. But overall, I was a little skeptical of this coffee. I taught geography for a couple of years, so never heard of Burundi. I don't know what that was. I'll tell you what, like a pretty solid cup of joe. This is a really good looking bean, and from what I can taste, it holds a lot of flavors, even though I went medium roast on it. So overall positive. As always, if you have questions about coffee I'm drinking, coffee I'm roasting, or life, go ahead and drop those in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. Or just kick back and listen to the sweet sounds of jazz on a Monday night. Let the bean cam lull you to sleep. One thing the ice did bring us some new followers. So we're almost up to 40 followers now. So the bean heads are getting stronger by the day. Shout out to all of our new followers. If you didn't get your love for joining the Fat Bean Army or the Bean Team, shout out to all of you. If you are in, go ahead and drop us a line. If you're watching for the first time, welcome. Drop us a line is a real nerdy way of saying hi. But as you can tell by the crab hat, nerdy's the game. Alright, so we're about 6 minutes in. Roaster has brought up the heat very, very similar to what it was last time. Again, we're going to do a medium roast on this. What's up, Bean Team? So that's a chat-only question. I'll let you guys answer that to Jill. Jill, always a pleasure. You've seen a couple of missing bean heads in here already. Don't know if they've been able to stay, but the numbers are a little bit more sticky today, so hopefully it means everyone's getting their lives put back together. Work this mic for a minute, because it is... Yeah. Someday I'll have to invest in a whole soundboard. Been quiet here without the Texas people. Yep, I think we've gotten, like I said, we've gotten some of the Texas two-step has been reacclimating in here. Will you be able to do bean cam with the new roaster? I definitely will be able to do bean cam. In fact, and I'll kind of go over the new roaster. We have any new viewers, but that didn't get to watch about the new roaster. In fact, with the new roaster, we're actually going to get a more traditional look where it'll actually have what's called the testing. We call it the testing rod, but where you actually can pull beans out in the open while they're being roasted and check the color. So instead of sticking my head behind this blast glass, we'll actually be able to see the color of the beans. You know, we had a couple of the Texans other than Jill in here earlier, but I think everyone's just kind of just bouncing in and out when they can, which is really the way the show works. But from what I've heard from all of our Texas friends, and I've heard from a lot of them separately, sounds like, well, we're getting back together. Yeah. Wasn't it like 70? I don't know. I guess that's a Houston thing, but wasn't it in the high 60s, high 70s today? What a ride! But yes, the bean cam will still remain a very important feature of the new roaster, and it'll actually kind of look like a roaster. So like I said last time, like we're toasting Pop-Tarts in here or something. But we're getting official. We are gonna get official. Bean Cam 2.0 has got me pretty jacked too. I don't usually get too excited about things, but that is one thing I'm allowing myself to get a little bit excited about. So I'm excited to name the new roaster. You got to be thinking, because as of right now, my heart says Judy too. So you got to get in there with your names. All right, just get a little chatty, and you can see definitely got some that color change coming on here. Oh yeah, early pops. Let those just get roaring, and we'll create a little magic here. Beanie. I mean, I guess I could name it Beanie. Then again, Beanie 2. As in Judas Toots? Sure. Got like hipster code or something? So the plan here, let it develop about a minute, 30 seconds, and then take it off the heat and give it a good look and see what we got. It's you, Beanie Baby. Start with that. I know it's been quiet. I know it's been hard to deal. Don't you start with that, Belvarte. It starts like a little ripple. You start making puns, and everyone starts making puns. And we got a freaking Gallagher concert here. Nobody wants that on a Monday. So right now we are in between first and second crack, and this is really where the medium roast starts to develop, starts to kind of take shape. Okay, give it a nice cool. We got our mitts here. Hey, about this Burundi. Chappy. Very. Mean roasting. Okay, so we dropped it in. Give it a look when we pull it out. Now note, the Burundi is an African. Oh, there's a robot for the first time tonight. You guys scared straight. The Burundi is an African, so with discernible lines that we've seen in the Kenyan and Ethiopian. This is a wash. We're going to use the mitts. They won't be needed. So the hope is the new roaster has its own internal cooler where it drops out of the machine and into a basin that has a fan that blows inside of it. So operating very similar to what I'm operating on here. If I start doing temperature tests and it is not cooling down as fast as I want it to, I might still use the bean mitts, but we'll also be able to retire pit mitts once the machine gets going. You have robot voice in the background. Alright. Yeah, it's doing the new roaster is going to make it a little bit more functional here. might take some of the charm out. So we won't. Every now and then we'll have to do a little bit of a Judy throwback. So I'm gonna go grab the coffee real quick. And I'll answer that. Start to be intense space here. Vegetable Beard Streamlabs has missed you. Okay, so this has got a roast question. I think it's fashionable to roast over alternative elements, i.e., place down here claims to wood roast their coffee. So I believe that it's Summer Moon. They just opened one here as well. The wood fire roasting. What are your thoughts? Just marketing or legit way to alter flavor? Everything I've read so far is that's marketing. Smoked flavored beans is not something you would put on with the element, but it's not a bad way to roast it. A little bit outside the norm. I think the way that they roast it, I've looked at it, they have a kiln, they built a brick oven, and they have a really big, almost like 55-gallon drum that they spin over oak fire. I think it's more of a gimmick than it is a taste alterer. In fact, they do most of their coffee medium roast to medium dark because of their business model. They cater more towards like your lattes or more espresso drinks. If you're roasting that espresso bean, you're not going to taste no wood. They're not going to taste the fire in that. But you can convince yourself that anything tastes like it, and I have yet to try it, even though they just opened a shop 6 blocks from my house. So I'll try it this weekend, give you a full rundown, see if I can taste it. I doubt it, but I've been wrong before a lot of times. What you got hanging up back here? So these are just little postcards. Sweet Maria's gives you different cards. This is my newest one. This is just a little roast chart. But every time you order from them, they give you a new postcard. So, just my postcards. If you guys got any pictures you want to see hanging up here, feel free to drop those, send those by way of my address. You might see your own postcard featured here on one of the Fat Beans roasting shows. So these are just Sweet Maria's. Vegetable Beard, yes. Stream Elements, he missed you very much. Yes, let's take Fat Beans show on the road this weekend. Yeah, sure, we will. We'll do a live show. There's a couple of roasters I want to try. JMCD mentioned Max Coffee. They're out of Lenexa. I think we'll try them. Blip Coffee of Kansas City. They also have motorcycles. And then we'll have to do Summer Moon because it just opened up close. So, we'll see. What I'm going to have to do is ask all of them if they mind me filming my Twitch show there. I know I don't need to ask because, it's 2021. Do whatever you want on the internet as long as you don't say anything offensive. But we'll ask them. They are trying to run business. I tried it. It was a good cup of coffee, but it didn't taste unique to me. I figured heat was heat and it was marketing. Yeah, and I'll try it. I'll try it and see. But my guess is it's just a very inefficient way to roast coffee. Just saying. The game's the game. Hopefully, I know that some of you noticed the new lighting. I did add some new lights down here just to give myself a little bit more pop. That's what my face needs in HD is more light. So. Glad to see everyone's back. Hope you're safe and warm again. Yes, me too. And Vegetable Beard with the novel question. what are your thoughts on mixing beans for different roasts? Say if I only have 15 grams of roast, can I top it off with a bean? Yes, you can. It's mixing on the back end is very common. And in fact, if you go on the internet, you can find every article about mixing post-roast. Pre-roast is a little bit more challenging, but it's doable. If you were here at the beginning of the show, I kind of mentioned that specialty coffee is 80 or above. Let's say you have 80 and you have a 60. Roasters will mix 60s with 80s, and that's how they get their house blend. But if you got two premium coffees and you're like, this would be fun to mix them, I do it all the time. When I got a little bit of regs, kind of digging around in the old box, I'll mix it up and just go on a little flavor exploration. Called needing to make it stretch. Yeah, Barber Vision got it. Sometimes you got to make it stretch and just mix them together and see where the magic takes you. Experiment, have fun. That's the name of the game. So, medium roast, we'll get that chaff knocked off, but just notice these dark yellow lines. That immediately tells us this is a washed coffee, and these lines are usually most prevalent in the area around Africa where they're growing these. So, overall, looks like a winner. So, give people what they want. Yellow lines. Yellow lines. Pick it up. And this is a chappy batch. You see my coat. Yeah. By the way, the new roaster, shaky goes away too. So all the quirky elements get busted out. Jabbed. So, all in all, great looking cup, and I'm excited to give this one a taste in a couple of days and see if lightening up a little bit has reintroduced some of those acid flavors I missed out on the first batch. But great example of a nice light roast here. How much can you roast at one time on the new roaster compared to Judy? So, Judy, by what it says it can do is a pound. Everything I've ever read is a pound takes up to like 15 minutes to roast it light. That's too long. To get Judy right in the sweet spot, between 7 and 12 minutes, she does best when she's running about a pound all the way up to 300 grams, which is about 6.68 pounds. So Jukes is in her sweet spot when she's at about a half a pound. The new roaster will do, it's a pound and a half, I've read, is its real comfort zone, but it can do 2 pounds pretty easily. So it says 2.2 or 1 kilogram. So it says 2.2 or 1 kilo, but I think 2 pounds is going to be between a pound and a half and 2 pounds. So if you were to eat one right now, would you get those asking flavors? So, no. You get some of the roasted flavors. Mostly, I can tell that this is still a little bit more medium. It's got a lot more crunch, a little less chew. When you taste a bean, no matter what phase, if it's chewy, it's a lighter roast. If it is crunchy, generally a medium roast, it just is pretty crunchy. If it explodes in your mouth like charcoal, so I still am tasting a lot of CO2, which is just not so much a taste as it's mouthfeel. That's what's dominating it when I'm popping it. So there you go. A good Burundi. I will either be drinking this on Wednesday or Friday. Probably Wednesday because I'm not patient, but if I can pull it off, I'll wait till Friday. But I think we were able to really get this one tuned in. So be looking for this one over the next couple of roasts as I have a 5-pound bag. And this is one I think I'd be willing to share simply because this is a very unique taste. You generally get bombarded with Central and South Americans here in the United States because it's easy, and then Ethiopians kind of have their place. But Burundi is a coffee that I've never really tried before until I bought this bag, and it's got some really unique flavors, and unique in a good way. So if you have anyone out there who's feeling a little bit adventurous and wanting to step outside the coffee comfort zone, I think this would be a really good one. There's tons and tons of flavors hidden. If you are interested, just let me know. Anyway, good again. Really good to see some of you back in. Glad to hear that everyone is kind of, if not, didn't fare the best, faring better now, and is on the upward climb. That's all we can really do. We can sit and question and ask about why this happened, or what's going to be done, or what does this mean for the future. But people are resilient, so you guys are a great testament to that. So keep doing what you guys do. Delvarte, one more time, thanks for the hat, as always. Gifts are always much appreciated because I don't really buy anything for myself. Kind of pathetic on that sense. So the dad hat is much appreciated. It's a nice little change of pace here now that the weather's getting warmer. And just overall, it's good to see a lot of you again. Got some new people in. Got some of the old regulars that I was missing out last week. Although we soldiered on because coffee takes no breaks. We're lucky enough to have electricity. But it's also good to see some of the old questions back. I did. Vegetable Beer and I guess AWeb reached out to us. She said she should be back in the old bean party here on Wednesday. So we had a nice little break from ridiculous puns, but I think she's got her pun gun just charged up and ready to go. But good to see all of you in the chat. Keep it short tonight. I might as well not gonna sleep. They're supposed to keep me on a leash here, and I went hard at that cup. But yeah, that's tomorrow's Brian problem. So today Brian is pretty jacked up. But as always, good to see all of you, and we will be back on the old show on Wednesday. Take a little break tomorrow. Put our lives back together. But as always, stay caffeinated.